Hi everyone, I'm Yanning. I'd like to give you an introduction of my ChatRoom web application for the FSE course. First, let's have a look at the technology used to build this application. For the server side, I use Node.js and the Express.js framework. For client side, I use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build the user interface. Socket.io is used for communication between server and client. To store chat history, I use SQLite, which is a relational database. Now let me introduce you the product design. First, we launch the server. The server will try to create a database if there isn't an existing database file. Now, when a client logs in, it will send a login message to the server through Socket. The server will query the database and send all chat history to the client. Now let's say there are multiple clients. When a client sends a new message, it will send the message to server, and server will do two things. One is to store the message into database. The other is to broadcast the message to the other clients. Now let me introduce you the code structure. The server.js file stores all the server-related operations, such as set up the server with Express, also set up the database and the database file, also set up the sockets, how it will react when receiving a message from the clients. This is the database file that stores all chat history. On the client side, there are two web pages. One is the login page, the other is the chatroom page. The HTML files defines the web components, for example, the buttons and the text fields. The CSS files define how are those components look like, such as the size, position, and color. The JS files defines the functionality and the behaviors of the web pages. For example, how it will react when receiving a message from the server and when it should send a message to the server. Now let me give you a demo of my application. Let's first start the server. I have three web browsers, each of them is a client. Now we go to the login page. The application is on port 9000 based on my setting. As you can see, we need to enter a username. Let's do it. As you can see, when we log in, we can see all the history of the chat. It contains the name, content, and the timestamp. We log in for the other two as well. They can also see the chat history. Now we send a new message. As you can see, the other two users can see the message instantly. I can try to post a response. All the users can see the response as well. Those messages are also stored in database. When I log out and log in with another person, I can see those two messages we just created. That means they are stored in database. That's pretty much the demo. If you want to know more about my application, you can go to the GitHub repository, download and run it. Thank you very much.